What is going on, everybody? 219 Football here, come back at you guys with another video, and in today's video, we are going to be going over the 2024 through 25 NFL playoffs, and I'm going to be giving my predictions, my reasons why I've been picking the teams I am, and we're going to declare a theoretical Super Bowl winner here. But let's be honest, this is probably not going to happen, so just kind of having some fun out here, seeing some hypothetical scenarios. So yeah, let's get into the predictions here. Pretty short video, so just gonna throw my predictions out there before the NFL playoffs start. But let's just start off with the 7s and 2 seeds. So firstly, I'm gonna just go Broncos Bills because this game I don't really see it being very competitive. Obviously, I take that back. It will be competitive, but probably out of all the wild card games, this is probably going to be the least competitive one, I'd say. But I think the Bills are going to come out on top. That's not really saying much. If the Broncos have a chance to win, that chance to win is going to be through their defense. They will have to shut down the Bills' offense for most of the game, which is going to be pretty difficult. And obviously, the offense will have to perform, but the Broncos' way of victory is through their defense through and through. But I don't really see that happening. I see the Bills just kind of maybe not jumping out early, but just keeping a steady lead and being ahead of the Broncos pretty much the whole game. I'd say this game might end like something like 27 to 17, something like that, like a 10-point victory for the Bills. So that's my prediction for Broncos Bills. Nothing really whole surprising there. Eagles Packers. I have gone back and forth with myself for a long time about this game. I really thought when the playoff seeding first was set, I really thought the Packers were just going to win this game outright. And I don't all agree all that much with that take right now. I'm going to get into my final prediction for the winner later, but I think this game is going to be very close, and I think Jalen Hurts is going to be the reason why it is close. Yes, the Eagles have a lot more star power than the Packers, but Jalen Hurts really does, I think, hold this team back pretty regularly. And I think this game, with him being injured, coming back, obviously the first game of the season, he didn't play all that well against the Packers in Brazil. But I think he's just, him coming off a few weeks of not playing, it's going to really hurt his play. And I think the Eagles' offense is kind of going to stall out a little bit. They still have a really good defense to lean on, and they have the run game, but I think the Packers are going to key in on that run game, and the the Packers' key to winning this game is make Jalen Hurts beat you, and if he can't beat you, then the Packers are going to win. So this game really all rides on Jalen Hurts' shoulders, and I don't really know if I trust him all that much. So I am going to stick with the Packers in this. The Packers are going to shock the 2 seed for 2 years in a row in my prediction. So this could easily backfire, and the Packers could easily get outmatched this game. It really all depends on Jalen Hurts, but I don't know if I could trust Jalen Hurts against a Packers team that is very well put together and can very well beat anybody. They've just fallen short of a few of their division opponents, who are obviously very good teams themselves. But yeah, I have the Packers actually taking this one. Now going to the 6 and 3 seeds, might as well start in the AFC again. This is going to be the Steelers and the Ravens. So Steelers Ravens again, another game in the AFC I think is pretty decided. I think the Ravens are going to win this game, but I don't think it's going to be very. I don't think it's going to be a blowout like some people think. I think the Ravens always play down to the Steelers every single time they play them, and I think this is going to happen again. But I think the Steelers, again, if they want to win, like the Broncos, it's going to be through their defense. They're going to have to shut down Lamar on offense like they've done before, but I just feel like their offense it's just stalled out too much. George Pickens has become a problem, but Russell Wilson hasn't played as well as he started. He's kind of dropped off a lot. The run game really isn't there, and the Ravens defense has really picked it up the last few weeks. They have come a long way from what they were earlier in the year. They are a much more solid unit, um, and the Ravens offense as well just firing on all cylinders right now. I don't see how the Steelers. I see a way the Steelers can win the game. I just don't think it's very likely. I'm gonna pick the Ravens. Probably some score, probably somewhere around 20-12 or 23-16, something low scoring because both defenses have been playing really well and the Steelers offense has not been playing really well. On the other side of things, the Buccaneers and Commanders, this is pretty much the exact opposite of the Steelers Ravens. It is going to be a high scoring affair. Two high flying offenses with not great defenses. And I think this one is not pretty cut and dry. I think this matchup can go either way. But it's really hard to bet against Baker Mayfield going against a rookie quarterback. So I'm going to take the Buccaneers, but I think this game's going to be very close. Maybe something 30-27. I think Jaden Daniels is going to put together a very good performance in his first ever playoff game. I just think he's going to come up a little bit short against the Tampa Bay Bucks. But I really could see the Commanders winning this game as well. It'll all come up to how their defense plays. And I don't think they'd have enough talent on the defensive side to get it done versus Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay high flying offense. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Buccaneers here. And finally, we have the 4 and 5 seeds, AFC Texans, Chargers. This one I actually did have to think about. A lot of people are just saying Texans suck. The Chargers are going to take this, but I did have to think about it a bit, and I am going to take the Chargers. But I think it is going to be a close game. I don't think the Texans are as bad as a lot of people say. I mean, I know their recent games have not been very promising, but I think CJ Stroud will find a way to keep the Texans in this game, but I don't think they're going to be able to win it. They've just had too many injuries. If they had Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs, I think the Texans would win this game, but they just don't. CJ Stroud's kind of in a slump right now. It's just not really looking the Texans' way. So I'm going to pick the Chargers here. The Chargers probably going to have to lean on their defense a little bit just to keep CJ Stroud in check. Basically, game plan for the Chargers, take advantage of that weak Texans O-line and make CJ Stroud beat you with pressure in his face, basically, and just have your offense manage the game. Don't do don't make any big mistakes on offense, which they are not really prone to do. So I think this game's probably going to end like 24-13, 24-20, something like that. And then on the other side of things, we have the Rams and the Vikings. So unfortunate for the Rams, they have to move to Arizona because of all the fires in LA. Very unfortunate situation for the Rams. But I really do think that this game's going to be very, very, very close. Obviously, the last time these two teams met, the Rams came out on top. And I am actually going to pick that to happen again. I think the Rams are going to beat the Vikings. The Vikings' glorious season ends in the wild card round. Unfortunately for them, they had a fantastic season under Sam Darnold, but I just think it comes down to the experience of the Rams players. They've been here before, they've done this before, and Sam Darnold really hasn't. And we saw last week, he in the biggest game of the season up to that point, he really just did not perform and left his team high and dry. And I think it's going to happen again. And I think that Matthew Stafford is going to get it done on the offensive side of the ball against a very impressive Brian Flores defense. Um, I think this game is not going to be very high scoring because the Vikings defense is pretty good and the Rams defense is not great, but I think the Vikings offense will struggle because of Sam Darnold playing in the big game. It's his first ever career playoff game. So I'm going to take the Rams score prediction probably around 20-17, maybe even something really low scoring like 16-10 because the Rams offense has not been great, but again, I think they've been here before. I think they can get it done. Moving on to the next round, we're just going to get the 2 1 seed games out of the way. So the Lions will be playing the Packers again. I'm going to take the Lions. The Lions just have been on a roll ever since the season started. I don't think their playoff hopes are going to end their very first game. The Packers, I think, kind of got lucky with the Jalen Hurts injury if they're able to sneak past them in the wild card. I don't think their luck is going to continue. They need a little more talent on that team before I think they can really put up a really good fight against the Lions for the division. And I think the Lions are going to take this one. I think it's going to be around score prediction, maybe 29-30 to 23, around there. The Packers will keep it close because the Packers are not a bad team, but I don't think they have the star power to get it done versus the Lions, and I think they got a little lucky with that Jalen Hurts injury to sneak past them in the wild card round. Now the Chiefs and the Chargers. I'm going to pick the Chiefs. I just think the Chargers just aren't there yet, and the Chiefs have just absolutely dominated in the playoffs. They just have, and they've been on a roll ever since that kind of rocky middle of the field where everyone was like, yeah, these Chiefs are not the Chiefs of old, but they've turned it on, and they've kind of looked like the Chiefs of old recently heading into the playoffs, and that's not a good thing. I'm going to predict the Chiefs win this one. I don't think it's going to be too. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think they will win it. I probably score prediction 26-20, something around there. And then we have the Ravens Bills on the AFC side. This is going to be an absolute dogfight of the game. Two of the top MVP candidates going against each other. Very, very anticipated matchup if this happens. I really want this to happen. The Ravens actually beat the crap out of the Bills the last time they played, but I don't think that's going to happen again, especially in playoff football. But I am going to keep the Ravens to win this one again on the Bills. I think this could go either way, but I just think, again, the Ravens have a little more star power, and I think Lamar is going to be on a mission to get that first Super Bowl this year. And Josh Allen, unfortunately, I don't trust the rest of his team to get it done versus the Ravens and a supercharged Lamar Jackson who might win the MVP, but Josh Allen could also win the MVP. So this is a toss-up game for me, but I think the Ravens are going to take this. Probably score prediction 32-30, 31-27, something like that. And then on the other side of the ball, other side of things, we have the Buccaneers and the Rams. Another very, very good game that I really like. I'm going to take the Rams again. I don't know what it is. I'm really feeling the Rams. Even though they haven't been playing well, I like their team. They've been here before. Stafford's done it before. He put up a really good fight against the Lions last year, who almost went to the Super Bowl in the wild card round. And I think he's going to do it again in this playoffs. And I think he's going to beat Baker Mayfield. The injuries really killed the Buccaneers, and I think they got I think they're good enough to beat the Commanders in that wild card round, but I think the Rams are a more experienced team, and I think Stafford's going to get it done again versus the Buccaneers, and they're pretty bad defense. Score prediction probably 27-23, 27-24, something along those lines. And now for the championship games, AFC Championship game, Ravens Chiefs again, repeat of last year. And man, it is really, really hard to pick against either of these teams. Lamar Jackson, again, on a mission to win that first MVP. But the Chiefs, you really can't bet against them, man. You really can't, because everything they do, it doesn't matter. They always end up winning because they're the Chiefs, and that's just the way it is, apparently, God says. So again, really hard to bet against either of these teams, but I'm going to bet against the Chiefs. I think their luck will run out eventually, and I think it's going to come against Lamar Jackson, who is not going to make the same mistakes that sealed the game away in that Chiefs game in the first time, where they really had a chance to win that game. The Zay Flowers fumble really killed them, and then the Lamar Jackson interception to Isaiah Likely really killed them. I don't think he's going to make those mistakes again. I think he's going to be calm, cool, and collected in this game, and I think he's going to perform, and I think they're going to beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead to go to the Super Bowl. And they're going to match up with either the Rams or the Lions, a rematch of last year's wild card game and week 1 this year. One of these teams are going to be going home with a fantastic season, but maybe just won it a little bit more. I think the Lions are going to win it a little bit more. I think I'm going to take the Lions here. Again, it's going to be a close game because Stafford, again, he's been here before, but so is Jared Goff. So is the Lions. They were here last year. They couldn't get it done versus the 49ers. They will get it done this year versus the Rams, I predict. And I think it's going to be a decent high-scoring game, but I think the Lions are going to come out on top. Score prediction, probably 28-24, 28-20, something like that. And our Super Bowl matchup is set. Lions, Ravens, and this one, is actually pretty funny because before the season, my prediction was the Ravens were going to win the Super Bowl over the Lions. And to see that being a possibility for me here is quite amazing. Obviously, I wasn't doing YouTube when I made that prediction, but just you gotta trust me. I made that prediction. Ravens over Lions Super Bowl before the season started. So to see that this is a possibility and that I actually believe that this could very much happen is awesome. But I don't think I'm gonna go with that preseason prediction. I'm gonna go with the Lions over the Ravens in the Super Bowl. Lions have their best season they've ever had in team history, and they win the Super Bowl for the very first time ever after a lot of people thought they would just never win it. But I think they're going to get it done here. Dan Campbell, Jared Goff get their first Super Bowl rings along with everybody on that roster. It's just an incredible roster, and Aaron Glenn has been coaching his ass off on the defensive side with all those injuries, and they could have Aiden Hutchinson back for this game. I think it's just going to be too much for the Ravens defense to overcome in the Ravens offense as well. I think final score prediction 35-30 or 38-34, 38-35, something like that. High scoring affair because both defenses are a little meh, but even though Aaron Glenn has been playing out of his mind, again, injuries and the Ravens offense has just been playing incredible. So I think the Lions are going to take this. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Obviously, this is probably not going to happen. A few games are probably going to go either way on some of the closer ones, but I think that this could very much happen, and I think the Lions deserve a Super Bowl win. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Follow me on X as well for posts on that. And, yeah. Also, go Irish.